Mormon crickets taking over Elko, Nevada. Swarms spotted in town, just a short drive from the state line, and that has some asking if they'll soon be taking over Utah as well.
Okay, fair enough question. ABC4's reporter Cade Garner spoke with experts today to find that out for us. Cade?
Utah is no stranger to Mormon crickets swarming communities in almost biblical proportions. Just 20 years ago, nearly 2.5 million acres across the state were infested, with Tooele County being one of the hardest hit. But hopefully, that won't be the case this year. Is this a scene out of a movie? No. It's a look at the scene in Elko, Nevada, which is being infested with Mormon crickets.
3 minutes later, my husband called out and they were completely all over our property. We have 2.5 acres and they were marching in the front and the back, through my garden and everywhere.
Julie Halling lives in Elko and says this has been a problem since Memorial Day.
When you bait them on your own property, they keep coming and they keep eating the ones that were there before them that have passed, and they smell horrible and they're slimy.
Could this soon be a reality for Utahns as well?
Don't fear. Mormon crickets are an ugly critter, but yet they're here. They are an important part of our ecological system.
Chris Watson with the Utah Department of Agriculture and Food says Mormon crickets live in rangeland and typically don't cause harm. But about every 20 years, there is a population boom, and with it comes some problems.
They do eat a lot of rangelands, so people who are grazing the rangelands at that time, there's nothing to eat out there because they've grazed it all, and now they're starting to move into the farmlands.
Matt Palmer was in Tooele County during the 2002 infestation, which affected nearly 2.5 million acres statewide.
Pretty eerie. I was out there and I wanted to see how big this group was, and so I started walking around it in the rangelands, and it was very long. 100 yards long and about 50 yards across.
He says he couldn't believe his eyes.
All lined up going in a certain direction. And so you walk out there and they'll kind of go around you, but they're traveling.
Watson says typically the crickets do better in drought years. Eggs laid at the end of the summer need moisture, but not too much to survive over winter. And with Utah's wet spring, only a few small infestations have been reported in the state. But if farmers have an infestation, he says to call the Department of Agriculture.
We have a program to help producers to be able to suppress populations, yet there's no efforts in trying to, remove these pests from the great state of Utah.
Reporting from Tooele, Cade Garner, ABC4 News.